Thank you very much. And I would like to thank Mrs. Moraes-Macera for very important remarks. And today I'm quite lucky because I can be a little bit more optimistic, because not only we reached an agreement on the multi-annual financial framework a couple of hours ago, and that gives us all reasons to celebrate, I think, to the whole European Union and we as people working on the budget in particular. But the good news is that there is a very important progress on the gender budgeting front as well, because gender budgeting is going to be part of this new multi-annual financial framework that was agreed today. Council and Parliament agreed to task the Commission with, and I quote, developing a methodology to measure the relevant expenditure at program level in the 2021-2027 MFF. The Commission will use this methodology as soon as it is available and no later than January 1st, 2023 for certain centrally managed programs to test its feasibility. At midterm, it will be explored whether the methodology can be extended to other programs for the remainder of the multi-annual financial framework. And this really is the legal basis and a very concrete first step towards solid gender budgeting. And we also have excellent language on gender impact assessments in the position of the European Parliament on the Recovery and Resilience Fund, which was voted yesterday in Commission. It calls for, and I quote, mandatory gender impact assessment of the national plans. This is exactly what Mrs. Moraes just called for, to be carried out by an independent expert or by the European Commission itself, unquote. And now, as a parliament, we need to defend this position in trilogue because this is very, very important. And we also have gender impact assessments and gender tracking methodologies as eligible actions in the technical support instrument, which has already gone through trilogue. So national authorities in the member states have the possibility to ask Commission for technical assistance if they want to proceed with these instruments. So these are very good developments, and we dearly need them in this deep economic crisis. Because recently every piece of research, every organization around the world is confirming that women are hardest hit by the economic fallout of the COVID-19 crisis. We found that out in a preliminary impact assessment conducted by the Green Group already in May and June this year, and this was confirmed by the International Monetary Fund, by the International Labour Organization, the Joint Research Center, almost every economic research institute or think tank. This recession is even being called the she session because it hits hardest, it hits women hardest. Because women work in the client-facing sectors, because they often have limited contracts, so they can't use classical instruments like short-time working financed by the European instrument SureWork, for example, and they're the first to stay home when schools and childcare institutions close. And then came Next Generation EU, which was very good news for the European Union, but unfortunate not for women, because these factors were not taken into account. The program was completely gender blind. 57% of the funds, as Mrs. Moraes pointed out, go to the digital and climate transition, and this is absolutely correct. But unfortunately, these are sectors where the share of women, of female employment is very low, below 20%. So we do need to make sure that Next Generation EU is more gender balanced, because otherwise it will not create employment. It will not be able to boost GDP. This is sound economics. And that means we need investments in childcare institutions, in schools, but we also need to make space for women, for example, in digital companies. We need to overcome the segregated labor market. Therefore, we also need gender budgeting as a stable instrument within the MFF, because it's about smart economics, as Mrs. Moraes said. Gender budgeting is not only about gender equality, it's about sound budgeting. It's about making sure we know not only where the money goes, but to whom exactly and which impact it has. It's about accountability, telling European citizens what their taxes are being invested in. And investing in women means to invest in a solid, sustainable, and inclusive economy, and this is our task. Colleagues, as the standing rapporteur for gender budgeting, I'm very much looking forward to working with you to support the European Commission in developing and introducing a sound and effective methodology for gender budgeting, in order to turn gender budgeting into one of our most important tools to deliver well-being to the European people. Thank you very much.